Hi, Team Beautifully Polished. This is Debbie coming live for Wednesday team training. And I'm going to give people a second to hop on. I know I'm a few minutes late. I had to go pick some stuff up. So I apologize about that for getting on a few minutes late here. So if you're on your lunch break and you hopped on, I am here. But I will give people a minute and then I will go ahead and get started and people can watch the replay. I hope everybody is enjoying the birthday celebration today. Hey, Jen. It is a big day today with our birthday celebration. I'll be coming in live later with that, but I want to keep our training to what training is. Okay, so today, you guys, I want to talk about calendar blocking. If you did a Let's Get Started call when you signed up, you are probably familiar with calendar blocking. Maybe you didn't. But calendar blocking is really, really important. Getting control of your calendar in general for our business is really key. There's a couple things about calendar blocking. One, first you have to pick the hours you want to work, right? There's so many things we can do with our job as far as social media, organizing, calling people. I mean, you could literally work 24 hours a day finding something to do with our job. That's just how it is. But don't do it. I do not want you guys spending that kind of hours on our job. You're going to burn out. What the point of Color Street and being your own boss and working for yourself is you're creating your own hours. So you're working your Color Street business around your life. That's the benefit of doing what we do. So with that said, I also want you to treat it like a business. If you're off doing things and you leave, 10 minutes a week for your Color Street business, well, then you're going to see what 10 minutes a week gets you in your business. But if you're working your business an hour every day, then you'll see a different result than the person who's working it 10 minutes a week. So, there's that expression out there of work hard, play hard, and I believe in that. So work hard, but work smart. So one way to work smart is by getting yourself organized and figuring out your calendar before you do anything else. We're all slaves to our calendars. Someone invites you to something and you say, email me, or they send you a Google invite to put it in your calendar. Send me an email so I can put it in my calendar. I know my husband, anything I tell him he has to do, he'll say, email it to me. Because even if I text it, he'll forget it. I have to email it to him with it in the subject line, and he gets it into his Outlook calendar. So, we do already live by our calendars, and we're all very scheduled people in this day and age. So just being smart with your calendar now with your business can make a big difference for you guys. So it's kind of like calendar blocking is basically putting our to-do list against our calendar, and we're kind of putting them together so we have a start and finish line in each area. So when you look at your schedule, the first thing you need to do is pick out all the time you can't work, all right? So I like to, first I kind of go through my different ways. First I look at it for the month and see what I have for a month, and I can block out things that I already know, will allow me not to work. Like this, oh my gosh, these past couple weeks for me, I had my son's prom and graduation, my daughter's dance recitals, all these things that I know I'm not going to work during those times. So I can see ahead of time from that month, those are all going to be times I cannot work. So whether you work on a paper calendar or Outlook or Google, I'll tell you, I've been doing a paper calendar as a general to do my color blocking, but I'm moving towards a Google Calendar, and doing this training has forced me to really start being more proactive about it, because it's been on my list of things to take over, because I love my phone calendar, but I can't put as many details in it as I want. I can't break down everything I want to do. So even with my overview of my phone calendar, it still doesn't have my color-coded blocking. So I find I kind of have different ways to organize. So I'm trying to switch over to Google so I can have everything all at once, which I'll talk about in a minute. So for the times you can't work, one thing about calendar blocking is getting markers to mark out your times. So like here's June, and you see I have all different colors. And again, this is my overview. This isn't where I'm filling in details. It's just for me, so when I know when I can and can't work and when I have things. And I'll tell you about the colors I use. So I know at times I have something, it's going to be red. I have grad parties in these hours. I have recital. I leave for Florida this day. You know, things that I know I absolutely can't do because of my family or something going on in my life other than work. All those are labeled in red. Now, with the negative of this type of thing is I can't give myself hours. So I'm just kind of blocking like middle of the day, afternoon, evening, which is why I'm tending to switch over to a Google Calendar, because then I can block in actual times. So red is going to be your time you cannot work. All right. So it's family, appointments, other commitments. If you have another job, if you work your other job 9 to 5 every day and you know absolutely you cannot work because you're at that job, then mark out your 9 to 5 in red. Okay. However you do it, color code that. So you don't have to pick red. I like red because it's like that absolutely no work, you know, stop. Now, that's not to be said that if I'm at a recital and I'm on recital number 5, which I was, I'm not going to be looking at Facebook to, you know, answer people or, you know, make comments. But I'm talking, you know, I know my set work hours. That's just kind of fill in things when I'm in the car waiting for something or, you know, but I don't count that as work hours. Okay. The next thing I want you to do, every month you guys get our team training calendar emailed to you and posted on Facebook. Print it every single month so you have it and you know when our trainings are. I want you to take anything related to our trainings with work and mark those in blue. So for example, I know every Monday, like Mondays are out for me to ever do nail bars. I mean, once in a great while, but then I have to find someone to run calls. I know every Monday night I have work calls, so I just don't do it. I know Monday at noon is our training calls. I try for senior director and up. I try to schedule around it, but if I can't avoid it, I do listen to the replay. Then on Tuesdays, I have our Tuesday noon calls. Wednesdays, I do our live calls. So anything in training that you want to do, or not even want to do, you should mark it all in blue, because blue is going to be your like, ooh, okay, I know there'll be a replay, so maybe I can do something, but I'd rather avoid this time. But like our live meeting on next Thursday, if you're local or if you're somewhere else and you can get to a meeting now that we're doing regional meetings, mark those in blue. And you guys, if you can, avoid those. If you're giving somebody dates for a nail bar, don't choose that date unless that is the single only day in the month. But something like that gives you such personal growth, which is imperative to your business. It gives you that connection. It gives you the camaraderie. I can't emphasize enough in-person meetings. So to me, of course I run it, so I don't have a choice. But if I were you guys, I would really try to avoid that day of the month for scheduling nail bars or even other family things if you can avoid it, and try to make those monthly meetings. I know somebody in Facebook had asked for all the dates, and I will post those. I posted them somewhere in there, but I'm not sure exactly where, so I can repost them. But we have all the dates picked out from now till December. We're typically the 3rd Thursday of the month, just so you know. The only months that those are different, December will be the 2nd Thursday because of Christmas. I just didn't want it too close to the holidays. And July, because we'll be at conference, July will be moved to the 4th week because we'll do it after conference and share all the fun conference stuff. But other than that, it's typically the 3rd Thursday. So mark those in your calendar and plan on going to those. Now, if you're somewhere else, you know, in another state, you might be able to find when their meetings are going to be in the future and get those on your calendar. So all that stuff's marked in blue. So the next one, we don't really talk about this in our Let's Get Started call with calendar blocking. This is something I personally do for myself. I've added a 4th color. So far we've talked about red is your family and things you're not going to work through. Blue is your meetings and work growth calls. I add in a 3rd color of purple, because purple and blue kind of go together. And that, to me, I'm chunking out my work time. I have it in pink because I was doing pink, but when I started switching over to Google, the pink and the red were too close. So in here I could notice the pink, but now with my Google, I'm going to red or to purple. Now what you can do is block out, you know that you have a 2-hour block on Monday that you can work. You have a 1-hour block on Wednesday you can work. So within that block, then you pick what you're going to do, but set those hours aside. So again, you can sit down at the beginning of the month and give yourself an overview, but then on Sundays, look at your calendar for the week, and now you start to lay out the hours that you can work. And if you have a team, it's real important to let them know those hours that you can work too. It might be that in this time frame, I'm not going to mark it as a nail bar, which we'll talk about that. We're going to talk about that as our final color. So it may not be marked as green that I could do a nail bar, but I may mark it as purple that I can work, because maybe my kids are home and I don't want to get a babysitter. So I know I can work and do my business, but it may not be a time that I offer for my nail bar. It may be a time that I know I can put the kids to bed, and at 8 to 10, I can get a lot of my work stuff done, but I'm not going to go hold a nail bar from 8 to 10. So that's where your extra color is coming in, this third color. When are you setting your work hours? And I do these outside of, I consider these outside of my in-person nail bars. Now, Facebook nail bars, I would include in this color, because again, I'm doing those from home, so it's the flexibility of my own schedule. But that's real key. And what am I working on during those times? Well, my gosh, I'm working on the things that are the most important to my business, right? I'm working on hostess coaching. I'm working on booking parties. I'm working on getting ready for my nail bars. I'm working on talking with different team members. I'm working on training. So those are the different things that I'm working on during my purple work hours, okay? If you don't have planned time in your calendar, you guys, unless you're really good, you probably won't get it done, because you'll just keep putting it off. So for me, when I set aside, I know I'm working these 2 hours, I know I don't allow myself to get distracted anymore, and that's when I'm doing it. And then I can do laundry and the other stuff later. So your final color, as I mentioned earlier, is green. Green is the days that I know that I have open to do nail bars. Now, depending on the people that you're seeing, you're going to want to put some green in your calendar for day and evening. By doing this, when you go to a nail bar, you can give someone the days right off the bat. All right. So first, well, let me backtrack a sec. So the point of calendar blocking is kind of twofold. It makes you accountable for your own schedule and getting things in the calendar, getting them done, but it's also allowing you to take control of your own calendar. So when you're going to a nail bar and you're offering up a nail bar and you say, someone says, oh, I'd like to have one. Oh, good. When would you like to have it? Well, how about next Wednesday? Oh, I can't do next Wednesday. Sorry. I have something with my kids. So then the guest says, all right, she looks at her calendar. Well, I could do the following Tuesday. No, that one's not good for me either. If you keep saying no to your girl that potentially wants to have a party, she eventually is going to shut down and say, forget it. You can't, I'm not important enough to you that you can work out one of my days. So instead, what you're going to do is have dates available to give to her because they know they work in your schedule. You are controlling this now. You are controlling your schedule and giving her these days. So now you're saying, hey, I know that you either won the nail bar or you mentioned you want to have a nail bar. So I'm looking at my days and I have either June 21st or June 14th available. Which one works better for you? Boom. You've given her two choices right there. Instead of you saying no to all her choices, you're controlling when you want to work. And you're also making yourself seem a little bit limited. Oh, she only has 2 days. It's kind of like anything ever goes to like retired. We all want it, right? While supplies last, we all want it. If you're only giving her 2 days, well, gosh, the only days I have available left this month are this day and this day. Ooh, well, she must be in high demand. So it kind of gives them a cool impression of what your calendar looks like too. And it shows them that you're not doing this every single night, that you are doing things around your family schedule. So you're controlling your own calendar. So when you do it, you can also, one cool thing that Dawn Waldecker went to a party light party. I love this. And I brought these to my last nail bar, but I didn't end up doing it because it was a flop of a nail bar. So anyways, I can't give you based on experience for this. But I had my hostess packet packed with 2 lotto tickets on each one with dates on it. And it said, if you want to book a nail bar, have this day or this day available, and how fun. You can, you'll automatically be able to win nails, and you might even win something from these lotto tickets too. So just kind of a fun way instead of playing the game. But like I said, I brought it and it was not a good nail bar. So I did not do it. I'm gonna have to try it next time. So anyway, and note to you guys too. See, we all have bad nail bars. That was probably my worst one actually that I've had. I have not had one quite that bad. I had a couple orders, but not worth the time and effort that I had put into this nail bar. Anyways, so when do you do this? When do you offer them? Well, when people are checking out, that's always to me a great time, to sit down with them. You're checking out with them at a nail bar, and then you say, hey, so I was wondering, would you be interested in having a night like this with your friends? And if they say yes, say, okay, well, I can offer you this day, this day, this day. Give them 2 or 3. Now, studies have shown the last date you give them is the one they typically will pick. So if you're trying to book your calendar for next week, give the closest date first. So you could say something like, well, I have availability June 26th, 27th, or the 14th. Which one works best for you? And then she typically would say the 14th, and that's going to get you that first nail bar booked. And then you can just say, oh my gosh, awesome. So do you want to put it right in your calendar, or do you want me to write it down for you so you don't forget? That way, I can text you to make sure that, we get this in the books, because I don't want anyone else to take one of these days, because I have such limited availability this month. Just to make sure that they're getting on their calendar, and then it's going to be a lock-in, and then you can follow up with them. So you want to have these dates ready before any nail bar. So before a nail bar, I'm re-looking at my calendar. I'm re-looking at these dates. Now, if someone is dying to have a nail bar and my dates don't work, then I easily am going to adjust and say, okay, well, why don't you give me a couple days that work for you, and I'll look at my schedule. I can see if I have any availability on those days. And I'm not saying you can't ever do that, but going in with them and offering them the dates sets you up for success, and without that back and forth. All right. So let's just to review. You have your red, which is your family days. You have your work commitments, whatever else. You absolutely cannot work during those times. You have your green, which is when you are available to do nail bars. You have your blue, which is you're writing down when we have any type of training. So you want to try to keep those training times open so you can get on them. And then you have whatever color of your choice. I do purple. Like I said, I've switched to purple, which I can show you on my phone. I know, because I'm using my computer to be able to, I can't share a screen. Purple would be your work hours of when you're going to work. For me, that's outside of my nail bars. So for example, this is what like I said, I'm slowly shifting over to a Google Calendar. So like this would be my week. In here, I put in a workout, so it sets that every day I know I'm not going to work. My red is recital. Here's my work time. See, my purple and blue are kind of similar here. So that's why I kind of chose those, because I know that's work time. One is calls, the more magenta-y color, that is my work hours. Green is when I can do a nail bar. And then yellow just got thrown in. Sometimes with Google Calendar, like my son has a flight tomorrow, other people's stuff will automatically go in. So if it's something that doesn't pertain to me or affect my work schedule or anything about me, I'll just throw that in yellow so I know it doesn't, it's just something that's in there that's not going to affect my schedule for the day. So that is what I'm shifting over towards. So I'll do another training on Google Calendar once I'm really, really confident in it. Right now, I'm still learning that. So for right now, whether you use a paper calendar, I challenge you guys to figure out your paper calendar, or figure out if you're going to use Google Calendar or Outlook, but get it color coded so you can take control of your calendar from now on, and you know when you are available from start to finish for each of these different sections of your schedule. So that is what I have for you guys today. I hope this helps you guys learn to take control of your calendar and take control of what you're doing, and organize your time, especially with summer coming up. It can get real easy to get wrapped up in our kids' schedules and just put work off. So make sure you lock those times in. I know the kids are going to be doing that. I know they're doing this, and get those times put in so make sure you get your nail bar availability, because otherwise it's going to be, oh, I might just go have a barbecue with the neighbors tonight. But if you know you've blocked those off, then you're not going to book things with other people. Nail bars would come first at those times. All right? So everybody have a great day. I'll be back in a little while live for our birthday. Remember, you have until 3 a.m. This morning to get bonus qualified to be in the drawing. 5 lucky people will win this hat that I love. And promotion started in the middle of the night this morning. So get those out to your customers and have a great day, everybody.